On this edition of Let's Talk Cincy, a look back at some of the inspiring stories that had us talking in 2025. From WLWT, this is the Emmy Award-winning show Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Hello everyone, I'm Curtis Fuller and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. Here's what's coming up on the show today. Our first story is about a young teacher making a difference. She's the 2025 Western and Southern Dr. Lawrence C. Hawkins Educator of the Year.
Kristen's been an educator for years. She started off as the school nurse and then came back as our health tech teacher. I nominated Kristen because she is an amazing educator. She has so much empathy, and just the safe space she creates leads to students who aren't in her class coming in for her clubs. And she makes sure that everyone has a voice. She teaches really hard topics, patient-centered care, nutrition and wellness. There are things that these students can tell you about your body that I would never be able to. And they know it like the back of their hand because of how she teaches it. She puts so much effort into how can these students learn. She puts so much effort into how can I get them everything that they need. So how she shows up for the students, how she educates them, her choosing to grab snacks for them to be able to eat from, her having refreshments for them, even her picture wall. I mean, when you walk into the room, you're greeted with a smiley face that says, "Good morning, how are you? Welcome." That's Kristen. She's amazing. As a student, you feel welcome, whether you're in her class or not. She is very respectful of them as people living their book, right? So if everyone's the main character of their book, they're living their book. They're in these chapters, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, where they're figuring out their identities. And I think she is an amazing role model. She, at her core, cares. And you can see it in the way she shows up for these students. You can see it in the way she shows up for them in every aspect. It's not just for school. She cares about them in all of their different systems. So we had a student named Maddie who passed away, and that happened in March. It was really unexpected. Kristen worked very closely with this student. A lot of people were really impacted, including her. As soon as we came back to the school, she was worried about what can we do. We were in her classroom. That's where we were providing support from. With her picture wall full of that student, people walking up and looking at the pictures, Kristen was a crucial gear that kept this community going. She is someone who makes it happen. Like, she will build those bridges. She is the embodiment of an extraordinary educator. She teaches these kids. She cares about the environment that they are coming into. She cares about their emotions. She cares about their mental health. And she wants each and every student she has to succeed because she truly loves them. That's Kristen.
I feel so honored to be recognized. I think more than anything, I hope that this is a testament to my students that I'm with every day. We talk every day about how we can do hard things. I make it a point that it's not you can do hard things, it's we can do hard things. And so this year, teaching is not an easy job at all. This is my 5th year teaching. I've learned new stuff every year. I started as a nurse at our school, and moving into the role of an educator has been a huge shift. I have incredible respect for teachers once I joined that career. But I get to come every day and work with these kids. I work really hard to make sure that they get the best education possible. I believe really strongly that education is power for these kids. And so my goal is to work hard every day for our students so that they can have the best future possible. I get a really unique opportunity to teach them career tech courses, so my students can end up certified in medical fields, so when they graduate high school they can also have a STNA certificate and a phlebotomy certificate. So for me to be recognized for this, it feels really, really special. I feel honored about it. Usually we're looking at math teachers, English teachers, and so to be a health teacher, to be teaching them nursing and to show the kids that if you come up, you show up every day and you work hard, we can do hard things, and now we're being recognized. Students nowadays have it way harder than we had it. They have cell phones, social media, they're always being watched, people are always paying attention, you're expected to be posting everything that that is going on, so I think they have the hardest job of all, to be maintaining their social lives, coming into school. My students at my school, they were a Title I school. A lot of them are coming from low-income housing, or low-income families. And so, well, when I went to school, I woke up, I came to school, I had food, I had every supply I needed. These students have to work extra hard. They get themselves to school on the bus. I haven't even ever taken a metro before, and these students know more than I do. They've got more street knowledge than I think I could ever have. So they teach me how to be resilient. They make a choice every day to come to school. They could choose to stay at home. They show me the importance of showing up, of being present, of making a choice to have a better life.
It's hard for me to believe that they are gone.
March 15th, a family's world shattered.
Who am I going to call and talk to? She was my closest friend.
17-year-old Maddie Newman and her parents, Melissa Darby, known as Missy, and dad Matthew Newman, were heading to Florida for spring break when the car hit a guardrail in Peach County, Georgia. Maddie and Missy were killed.
So Maddie, she was in my my nursing assistant class. So I had her for that. I was lucky enough to have her for 3 of the 5 bells that I taught this year. Through that, she was also a part of our book club and our Girls to Women group. So Maddie was the heart and soul of our program. Sorry. As you said, a lot of emotions. So it was a huge loss. Maddie, the student she was such a strong student. I always tell our students these days that she was such an academic. She cared so much about succeeding, and so I think this year especially, I was the teacher I was because of her. So showing up each day to make sure that I support the kids is really important for me. I'm just her teacher. I'm not her friend. I'm not her family, and so I can't even imagine how they feel. Because I got to go home. That was her community, and so she left a huge impact on all of us. I will be a different educator because of her, and I was thankful to know her.
Baseball was the talk of the town in 2025. In our next segment, remembering 50 years of the Big Red Machine.
Yeah, you think about the best teams in Reds history, you immediately jump to 75 and 76, back-to-back world championships. And that was really the culmination of the Big Red Machine. A lot of people believe the Big Red Machine started in the 60s and development, and then the trades that took place, and Bob House really being the architect of bringing that team together. Well, it finally all came together in 75 and 76, and if it weren't for a spectacular Game 7 against Boston in 75 and a couple of big hits and a Tony Perez home run, maybe the Big Red Machine isn't as famous as they are now. But it's a real special time when you can celebrate a 50th anniversary, and that team means so much to so many fans, and to be able to celebrate it in an exhibit here in the museum, probably the last 2 years, because we'll be celebrating the 50th of 75 and 76. So this exhibit will be totally transformed. It's going to be a beautiful place, beautiful tribute, with many of the players from most teams coming into town. And I think it's just special to see them back together again. And for them to see the fans and the fans to see them, it's a highlight of the year for us.
Catcher Johnny Bench not only adds an extra dimension of the game of baseball, but lots of excitement too.
I knew that I had to bounce back for us to win. I knew it for myself. For me to survive, I had to do it. 71 was hell is the only way you can describe it, and I didn't want anything like that to ever happen again.
I will ask you the question that you said you asked Johnny Bench. What made that team, that unit, as special as it was?
Well, I think what made it special for them, I know, is that they really cared about each other. They put away egos, they had different talents, they had specific roles, and it was beyond the grade 8. One thing that we've learned as we prepare for this year and this exhibit is that it was about the entire team. So we often think about the starting lineup and how that really brought that team to kind of the upper echelon of baseball. And it's true, that's when they started winning more games. George Foster goes to left field, Pete Rose moves to third base, and next thing you know, they got power, speed, they've got energy, they've got everything they need. But internally, it was they cared about each other, and that led to winning. So very diverse team, egos, talents, backgrounds, came together for that one common goal of winning. Outside of that and away from the field, these guys hung out together. You'd find them together at different restaurants, family gatherings, other events. It's not like baseball might be today. There have been years where, in teams that have been very good that haven't hung out together. And that is what Johnny explained to us, that team was different. And different can sometimes turn into championships. Well, Johnny and Pete were a little bit different than the rest of the team. They were outgoing, they had that personality. They were the spokespeople for the team. They didn't shy away from that. They liked it. They saw that was important for their personal brand and for the brand of the team. And that was kind of their role. But then you had Tony Perez, who was the quiet leader on the team and who demanded so much out of all the players and could get it from them without saying a whole lot. So he had this special role. And Joe Morgan, Joe was just so talented and could do anything, power, speed, defense, MVP. This guy did it all. And then Dave Concepcion, Foster, Griffey, Geronimo. It's just a stellar group that you'll never see together again like that. I don't think anyone can put together that good a team.
Our next segment is about a Cincinnati native back home to premiere her new film. And she also shares the journey of her well-known father, Jim Klingman, and his battle with ALS.
Color Book is an intimate portrait about a father raising his son with Down syndrome. And after the passing of his wife, he decides to take his son to his very first baseball game. And so in 98 minutes, we explore this journey between father and son, and we get to witness all of the different obstacles that they come across as they try to get to this game. And at the end of the film, they really learn to appreciate the journey is more important than the destination.
It must seem somewhat surreal to come back home. Mm-hmm. This is a full circle journey for you, and to come back to this film festival, the place that you called home for many years.
Yeah, it does. It feels absolutely surreal, and I haven't been back here since I think 5 years ago when I premiered my first short film that I co-directed and co-wrote that was dedicated to my dad, called Eavesdropping on the Elders.
See, that's why we need Brother Jim here.
What does my dad have to do with it? And prior to then, I really hadn't been back in years. I haven't lived here in like 14 years, which is crazy. And so to be back here premiering a film that I worked so hard on and poured blood, sweat, tears, got my first gray hairs doing it. I'm just like, it's just amazing. Like I wouldn't be from Cincinnati if it wasn't for my dad. And so being able to be back here, although without him, is bittersweet. But I know I am his legacy, and so being able to communicate the way that I like to communicate. My dad communicated through writing and through books and through columns, and I communicate through film. It's just an amazing feeling to be back here in my hometown, and it's very special. I mean, I feel so blessed to be able to call this incredible man my father, but I'm so thankful that not only has he been such a tremendous father to me, but he's been such an amazing person to so many people. My dad was diagnosed with ALS a little over 11 years now, and you know, when he was diagnosed, it took him years to get diagnosed, first of all. And that happens quite often in the ALS community. And our lives forever changed when we got that devastating diagnosis. And it's been a journey. And I think now that we're towards the end of that journey, I've been doing like even more reflecting and of course feeling, you know, trying not to feel like some guilt about things or, man, I wish I could have done this. I wish I would have been more present in this moment. Because ALS is such a relentless disease and you have no idea when it's going to end. I mean, they told us 2 to 5 years and my dad has surpassed that. They've told other friends that have had ALS 2 to 5 years and they've died within 9 months. And there's not as many dollars being poured into this disease. It's not a popular disease. And so the research and, you know, new evidence about it takes kind of a long time to hear updates about what's going on or the journey to a cure. And so it honestly, for my dad, it took him a long time to be okay with even accepting that he had ALS, and it took him a while to let the public know. My dad was in the public eye at all times, and my dad is a Leo. He is prideful, and I saw him struggle and wrestle with. I remember he wrote his last article, and an article that he expressed that he had ALS publicly, and it was so hard for him because he was used to carrying the family, not only carrying us, our small family, he carried the community, he really did. I think for my dad, he is finally in a place of seeking peace, and I've seen him struggle just so much over the years. I mean, the disease is unfathomable. I would never want my worst enemy to experience the perils of ALS. And I used to not even be able to have a conversation about this without like breaking down and crying, but I feel like I've cried so much. I feel like I've grieved my last hug with my dad. I've grieved the last time I saw him standing. I've grieved the last time he was able to hold a cane. I grieved the last time he was able to squeeze my hand. He can't move any part of his body anymore except his eyes. And he's at a place right now where I know he wants to be free from pain and free from being trapped in his own body. And so my prayer is that he finds that peace soon, whether it's a miracle, which I still absolutely have hope in that, or whether it's having a peaceful transition, which we've talked about as a family so many times. I told him the fact that he's changed one person's life is enough, but we all know that he's changed thousands of people's lives. And from his column alone, from his speaking engagements, from the work that he's done in the community, and I wrote at length just about like what I've seen and what I've witnessed and what I've been able to talk to his friends and family about, and that gave him comfort. And I really hope that. I hope God is allowing him to continue to live right now, because he's allowing him to prepare for peace, and he's allowing him to know that he's done well, that he's lived an amazing life, and he has done exactly what he was supposed to do. My dad was a very athletic man. He was he was an avid cyclist in his 60s, riding 2,000 miles across the country. He was a bowler, loved bowling, and I actually think that's why he's been able to persevere so long, in addition to my mom being a nurse and just stepping right into the caregiver role so seamlessly. But ALS is a motor neuron disease, so it breaks down your muscles bit by bit, and your brain stops telling your muscles to fire. He's a fighter. He has relentlessly fought to live the last 11 years, and I know he's tired of fighting now. And I see that, and I want him to be happy. I want him to be at peace, and I want him to be free of that. So There's no way to prepare for death. And I think the unknown scares us all, and I know it scares him too. He doesn't want to die, but he's just tired. I think he's feeling like he's completed his purpose, and every day he continues to live, I think he's a testimony, and he's an inspiration for me and so many others. I know when I wake up in the morning and I don't want to get up, I'm like, my dad literally can't get up, and he's getting up, and he's continuing to get poked and prodded and moved around and jerked around, and he's still fighting every day.
In our final segment, if you've heard of the manga and anime hype sweeping the nation, you'll understand why Cincinnati is jumping on board.
Sensei is a manga cafe, so pretty much it is Japanese comic books. So the reason why we brought it to life is because we are big anime and manga lovers, and we wanted to bring something in Cincinnati that had that. We wanted to have a place where you can sit down and relax and read and kind of connect to others who love the same genre, which is anime and manga. Manga is going to be a book, and it's like a comic book, but you read it from right to left, so it's backwards, so it's Japanese, obviously, but they make it where we can read it in English.
And it's not much of a difference when you really break it down on a fundamental level. Outside of the reading direction, as my wife just mentioned, is also just a cultural relevance to that area. So a lot of the stories are going to be told from the Japanese point of view. So my wife always wanted to have a bookstore. We always kind of talk in passing, like, yo, my dream job could be this in the future. Like, what would you do for free and not make money off of it? And she would always say, oh, I would love to have like a bookstore or art store. So as a graphic designer, I just said, I would just love to own a business regardless of what the business is. So putting her love for having a bookstore, and then my love for creating brands, and then obviously picking a more niche genre like manga and anime, which is how we kind of both actually
met. Yeah.
Our first connection was revolved around anime and manga. That was like, for me, that moment of like, shit may be the one. So kind of bringing all those different components together, from I'm a brander, she wants a bookstore, we both love this type of book, so let's just try to make our own business.
Well, that does it for the program today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Curtis Fuller. I'll see you next time for another edition of Let's Talk Cincy. Until then, have a good day and a better day tomorrow.